A big moment we all remember was when we learned that Naruto and Sasuke were the reincarnations of Asura and Indra Otsutsuki. It was an interesting plot device, and Naruto's Six Paths Sage Mode and Sasuke's Rinnegan were, I don't know, for lack of a better term, they were asspulls. They were cool as could be, but they were plot armor personified, not too unlike Goku's constant limit breaks into new transformations every 3 episodes. But still, it introduced an interesting concept to the series that someone's feelings could be so strong that it would allow that inherited will to pass down through the family line into future generations through the power of chakra, molding a person into the image of the one who came before them. We saw Indra and Asura do it, but beyond that, it's my fervent belief that Toneri Otsutsuki is a reincarnate of Hamura. The entire movie is about a single man trying to understand the will of Hamura Otsutsuki, and introducing us to a pure Otsutsuki who, for the first time since Hagoromo and Hamura, was a genuinely good Otsutsuki. Hamura's will was passed down to Toneri, but furthermore, I begin to wonder if more could have been passed down. Toneri displays a strange power, the Tenseigan, which has been linked to Hamura, and he further displays the ability to enter a form of Six Paths Sage Mode and wield Truth Seeking Orbs, these only being usable by those who possess Six Paths Chakra, and the only way to get that was to either be connected to someone who had it, or to take it on yourself through becoming the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki. Toneri obviously wasn't the latter, so perhaps he was the former. I came to believe that Toneri was the bona fide reincarnation of this Otsutsuki, and due to this, I began to consider the possibility that other characters beyond just Indra and Asura Otsutsuki could be reincarnated. After a lot of letting my mind run wild, I began to ask myself, what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Hagoromo?
Welcome to the Amagi! Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Also, we just released some brand new merch. If you'd like to show your support for the channel even further while at the same time repping stylish clothing, be sure to check that out as well. The store is linked below. YouTube's been unsubscribing users from channels lately, so if you're a fan of us, please do us a favor and double check to see if you're still subscribed. It only takes a second, and it helps us a ton here at Amagi. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video.
The day Naruto was born, Minato struggles to keep the tailed beast in as the child is coming out. He can feel Kurama raging, attempting with all of his might to break the seal. However, partway through the birth, Kurama offers no resistance, which is confusing to Minato. He can't close the seal yet, but as it stands, Kurama is not rushing through. He can't help but wonder why. During the night, as the moon shone down on Konoha, a baby cries out after birth. Biwako, the one in charge of the delivery, takes up the child to clean him before presenting him to his mother, but as she does so, she is utterly confused. The child, as small as it was, came out with markings. They weren't the same as birthmarks, these were too perfect. It had 9 magatama lined in a 3x3 grid pattern on its back, just below a strange round circle with multiple rings within, centered between his shoulder blades. On the babe's chest, along his collarbones, he had 6 more magatama markings, 3 per side. Biwako couldn't explain it as the child cried all the more. She would prepare to hand it over, but fate steps in as Obito takes the child up into his arms, not yet knowing the importance of the child wrapped up and wailing therein. After a brief moment, Minato manages to get the child back, but in turn loses Kushina. She's taken. From here, the course of the birth of Naruto remains the same. The beast is let loose and his parents are killed, and the Nine-Tails is sealed inside of him. However, after that, as he's resting in the hospital, the importance of who and what he is begins to ring true. As the medical ninja begin to check him out, they notice the marks and wonder what these strange seals are. The child seemed healthy and stable, but upon waking up for the first time in a calm manner, they were astounded to note that his eyes possessed ripple-like patterns. They suddenly realized what this could be. They sent for the Hokage to tell him, and the third came to see the claims. Upon seeing the markings and the eyes, he knew for certain. This child was indeed the Sage of Six Paths reincarnated. From that point on, the child would be taken to the Hokage's residence, where he'd be watched over and taken care of. As he grew, he didn't know the pain of having never been loved. He understood from the start with the affection shown to him by Hiruzen. He would also know his uncle Asama and would spend time with baby Konohamaru. He had a family. He didn't know his real parents, but that was okay, because he wasn't alone. They had left him in the hands of a good friend who was basically family. Naruto was given the best of tutors and teachers, and he learned quickly too, but there was something that life within the palace walls couldn't provide. He sought to connect with people, to be like them, to live like them. And so, with the Hokage's permission, he was allowed to join the academy. Naruto would walk the streets, and the people would give him chocolate and flowers and toys. Not a single person did he pass that didn't nod and smile to him. To a point, it was annoying, but he learned to deal with it as it offered him the opportunity to learn more about their lives and connect with them on a deeper level. In school, he would get picked on every now and again for having strange eyes, but he was a very patient boy and would remark that his eyes did seem strange. That was actually how he met Hinata. When she was being picked on because of her eyes, he stepped in to show them even stranger eyes to the point that they all even forgot about Hinata. They would bully him and make fun of him, laughing at his strange eyes. Naruto would laugh as well, telling them that they were indeed strange. Hinata would look to him with confusion and see his eyes. They were strange. To a point, they kind of scared her, but at the same time, she couldn't look away. There was a warmness in them, something deep down in the very soul. Naruto would look at her and say, "They don't know the difference between the words weird and unique. Your eyes are very beautiful, they're just different, just like mine are." She would smile, barely able to formulate words. That was the start of the sage's first friendship in this incarnation. In school, Naruto excelled at everything he did. His capacity to learn was tempered by wisdom beyond his years, which led him to being among the top of his class. The only issue he ever really had in school was that he couldn't remember to call it ninjutsu. More often than not, he would ask the teacher to display the ninshu or ninshutsu for them again. He often got mocked for that, asking how such a smart kid couldn't remember the J in the middle of a word. Naruto never bucked back though, instead laughing at his own mistakes, which to a point caused those who would bully him to eventually leave him alone, knowing that they couldn't upset him, and drawing those who would be on the fence about him to be his friend. Only one kid in the class never seemed to care about Naruto, and that was the little black-haired boy in the corner, Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto so desperately wanted to say hello to him, but the boy seemed to avoid eye contact. Naruto could almost sense animosity from the boy and didn't understand why, but he accepted it. At some point, he would also make contact with Kurama in his subconscious. Kurama at first would seem hostile, but the more often Naruto visited, the more the nine-tailed fox grew to love and respect him in an instinctual way. He couldn't explain it, but something about Naruto reminded him of Old Man Six Paths. Upon graduating, Naruto would be assigned to Team 7, where Kakashi would begin by introducing himself to them, asking them about their dreams. For the most part, Sakura and Sasuke's dreams remained the same, but Naruto's identity was completely different. He said he loved to make people happy and hated to see them sad. He loved it when they smiled and hated it when they cried, though he could understand why someone would have to cry sometimes too. He said that overall his greatest dream was to have meaningful connections with everyone. This was something that Kakashi saw as too pure for the ninja world. And it was also this mentality, he surmised, that would ensure that Naruto was never a member of the Anbu. They would take the bell test, to which Naruto begins displaying unusual abilities and jutsu, all in an effort to get the bells. This includes forming and firing truth-seeking orbs at Kakashi, which he can't avoid forever. Eventually, one of the orbs gets close and just grabs one of the bells clean off him and returns to Naruto. That was about 8 minutes into the test. That number might be too generous. Kakashi, beginning to think it was a bad idea, then decides to salvage the test by asking Naruto which of his friends he'll give the extra bell to, and Naruto responds by giving them both a bell, willing to go back to the academy, stating that he'll just join the next team. Kakashi is satisfied by this. After all, it's not like he could have said no anyway, as Hiruzen commanded it. He does believe that Naruto's ability to act selflessly is a trait that will allow him to become a perfect member of this team. So from after this, they begin doing their daily duties as genin. Not very action-packed, just little things around the village. But unlike the main timeline stuff, Naruto actually loves it. It's not overly hard, allows him to experience his life as a normal person, and allows him to make others happy through his services. Normally, shinobi are paid for their work, but Naruto is steadfast about not taking any payment. Instead, the extra cut goes towards the village, or towards those who are less fortunate. Naruto lives with the Hokage. He has food and shelter, as well as clothes, friends, and his health. That's all he needs. This way of thinking is too kind for this world, even to the point that Sakura is swooning over him. She's lucky, she believes. She gets to share a team with the world's hottest guy and the world's nicest guy. She's on cloud 9. Of course, Kakashi wants to see how far he can push Naruto. He wants to see how far this naive boy will go when forced into tough spots, so he accepts the Land of Waves mission to push him out of his comfort zone. Naruto would still be happily going about the mission when the demon brothers attack. From out of nowhere, they leap at them, but Naruto raises his hand and suddenly they fly backwards into a tree, seeing birds. Naruto then sends a chakra chain to bind them and goes about his day like nothing happened, much to the shock of everyone on his team. Then, when they meet up with Zabuza and Kakashi's trapped in a water prison, Naruto has to think more carefully as he doesn't want to harm Kakashi with his attack. He can't be careless. He begins to send out his truth-seeking orbs, many of which Zabuza slices at. Turns out they're pretty durable too, so they just catch his blade or at most bounce away like a Tamari would. However, this was never the intent. He wasn't attacking Zabuza as much as he was distracting him. He sent a single ball to the water prison, which touched it and nullified the jutsu, causing the water to just fall and Kakashi to stand up and take command. Man, Sasuke feeling as useless as Sakura in this what if. Zabuza would escape with Haku, and Team 7 makes their way to the home of Tazuna, where Kakashi begins to teach them how to stand on most surfaces using only chakra. Naruto's like, oh, you mean this? And is already at the top of the tree standing upside down. Kakashi is beginning to wonder who is teaching the team, and to a point, Naruto is showing off a little. He's strong and he knows it, and he doesn't feel the need to hide it. He's young and brash, and despite wanting everyone to be happy and smiling, he doesn't really know how much it affects people negatively when he's just acing everything and showing off his power. Especially in the case of Sasuke, whose natural animosity is growing deeper by the day. At first, his spirit was crying out that Naruto was no good. From the very first day he met Naruto, there was something about him that he didn't like. Every time Naruto misused the word ninjutsu as ninshu, Sasuke would cringe. And now he's just being a show-off. Sasuke was growing more and more pissed by the day. Eventually they end up on the bridge, and Zabuza and Haku show up again, with Haku preparing to use his demonic mirroring ice crystals technique. Naruto would then coat himself and Sasuke in a massive dome of truth-seeking orbs, and then expand it until it struck all of Haku's mirrors and nullified the jutsu. Naruto would just capture both Zabuza and Haku with his chakra chains and hold them before utilizing space-time jutsu to snatch Tsunami and Inari from Gato's men's control. He would then use a low-level Shinra Tensei to knock them all off the bridge. Returning to the village, they rename it the Great Sage's Bridge, after Naruto, who was a little unwilling to accept it. Originally, they planned to name it the Great Naruto Bridge, but he thought it was a little much, and even though he shows off a lot, he is truly humble in his heart, and doesn't want to be looked at like that. Returning to the village, the Chunin exams are set and Team 7 is a shoo-in. Kakashi begins to believe that Naruto will basically carry the team, and he doesn't know how much he's right. The first test is a written test. Now, about this, Naruto intentionally nerfs himself. He doesn't want to cheat even if that's the goal. He wants to do it honestly, so even if he has his Rinnegan, he doesn't want to use it to cheat. This actually results in Naruto nearly failing the test, but when the final question is asked, even with the stipulation that if it's wrong he can never become a Chunin, Naruto takes it anyway, knowing that if he is wrong, all that it means is that he'll remain in the village, helping people. To be honest, his dreams aren't really centered around becoming a shinobi of the traditional sense, and more of just traveling the world, meeting new people, and defending people who can't defend themselves. This results in Naruto passing through, which was a surprise to be sure, but a most welcome one. Moving on to the Forest of Death, the goal is to protect their Heaven Scroll and find an Earth Scroll and take it away from the team before making their way to the Colosseum in the center of the forest. Naruto isn't too keen on this, as it means he's taking away someone's rights to become a Chunin, but on the other hand, he reasons that if he doesn't do it, he's removing his own team's rights. As a final nail in the coffin, he reasons that if a team can't defend their own scroll, then it might mean that they're too weak to be Chunin and would be safer remaining Genin until such a time that they've trained enough. Upon entering the forest, they would indeed be attacked by Orochimaru, but not only him, but Team Dosu as well, all at once. Not here for Sasuke, but for Naruto. Orochimaru isn't even hiding how much he wants Naruto's body for his own. Sakura and Sasuke are frozen, motionless in fear, unable to move. And to a point, even Naruto is taken by fear. Not so much because Orochimaru is that strong, but because the pure hatred and evil in the man's heart, and the desire to kill and slaughter and take lives is unlike anything he's ever felt before. Something truly despicable. Naruto resolves not to falter to Orochimaru's fear-mongering tactics and instead reassures himself that he and his friends will be safe. To that point, he goes about attempting to fight off both Team Dosu and Orochimaru at the same time. To deal with Orochimaru, Naruto would summon the giant centipede using the animal path to block off Orochimaru and his snakes, while going after Team Dosu, forming two shadow clones to do so. With Orochimaru struck and hidden, Sasuke and Sakura can move again. Sasuke steals himself and joins the fight against Team Dosu, forming two more shadow clones to help Naruto drive them off, all while Sakura aids them from behind. However, as Manda tangles with the centipede, Orochimaru jumps over the side and rushes for Sakura. She turns around and is terrified to see it coming. Sasuke sees this, and in a moment he rushes over and jumps in the way, taking the shot, ending up stabbed. Naruto calls off the attack against Team Dosu, recalling his shadow clones and pushing them back with Shinra Tensei before moving back towards Orochimaru, forming his staff of the Six Paths and using it to smash Orochimaru upside the noggin, sending him flying a fair distance away. Team Dosu and Orochimaru would flee. Sasuke would have fallen to the ground. He was bleeding profusely and growing pale. He was becoming unresponsive, and Sakura was crying aloud for him. Naruto, unwilling to let him go, would put his hand over the wound and use yin-yang release to heal his wound. However, this had side effects. Sasuke would awaken, but when he did, his eyes had evolved into Rinnegan as well. That was not something Naruto had expected. Sasuke didn't expect it either, but it was a welcome surprise as he could feel the power surging through him, wondering if this was what Naruto felt at all times. Naruto began to realize the connection between the Sharingan and the Rinnegan and began to wonder how far he could push this. After this, they managed to effortlessly get the Earth Scroll due to there being 2 Rinnegan users on their team now. They made it to the center of the forest, to the Colosseum, and opened their scroll. It was then that people started to make a big deal about Sasuke possessing the Rinnegan as well as Six Paths Chakra. Naruto would smile. "Oh, Kakashi-sensei, come here. I've got a present for you." As soon as Naruto would find Kakashi, he would share some of his Six Paths Chakra and evolve his Sharingan into a Rinnegan just as he had for Sasuke. Now, with a quick note, it's heavily implied that Kakashi's Sharingan and Obito's Sharingan are connected. Obito could see out of Kakashi's eyes as he grew closer, and it was Obito's sorrow that evolved both of their Sharingan into Mangekyo's Sharingan. So it stands to reason that somewhere in this world, Obito is out there dancing around Deidara and begging his senpai for attention, and suddenly, but Rinnegan. An interesting development, senpai. When the exhibition matches roll around, it's no contest. Sasuke stomps, Naruto stomps, and there's no need to even discuss it. Sakura does not stomp though, and Naruto cheers for her anyway. They get a month off to train, and Naruto is training with Ebisu when they happen upon Jiraiya watching the ladies' bathhouse. Naruto, despite everything, is himself a very curious boy, so Ebisu would be startled to find them both peeping. Ebisu tries to stop and scold him, but Naruto in his infinite Seiji wisdom states that the human body is beautiful and nothing to be ashamed of. This only pisses Ebisu off more, even though he himself seems like he's wanting to take a peek. Jiraiya and Naruto both giggle and push him in to have a close look, only for the women to scream and beat him to within an inch of his life. Jiraiya laughs and states that he likes Naruto and that he reminds him of himself. He then notices Naruto's Rinnegan and asks him where he got them. Naruto states that he was born with these eyes. Jiraiya begins to think back on Nagato, who he had left years earlier, who also possessed these eyes. Jiraiya was confused, but took this as an omen that something pretty big was going to happen. It's said that those who possess Rinnegan will either become a god of creation or a god of destruction. It's a rare thing, and for so many to show up at once bodes ill for the future of the world. Jiraiya decides to take it upon himself to teach Naruto for the coming month, and so Naruto accepts. He begins to talk to him about the tailed beast he has, asking if he's mastered it. Naruto replies by asking, "How do you master a living being? And if you could, would it be right?" It was this line of thought that causes Jiraiya to go silent for about 10 seconds. He then asks what all he can do with it. Naruto flares into Six Paths Sage mode with it. Naruto is then like, well, can you summon a toad? Naruto holds up his finger and says, "I can summon a dog, a bird, a chameleon, a panda, an ox, a rhino, a crab, and a centipede, but a toad I cannot." Jiraiya is off-put by this and then begins to ask if he can do this. He shows him the Rasengan. Naruto looks at it. Huh. Chakra control and shape manipulation formed into a perfect sphere by high speed. Jiraiya's like, well, can you do it? And Naruto on the spot invents, or should I say rediscovers, Ame no Mihashira. Jiraiya at this point gives up. Wanna go get a popsicle and read some girly magazines? Naruto would accept, and for the remainder of the month they just do that. After the month is up, they return to the Colosseum where they're primed to face the next set of Genin. Naruto is facing off against Neji, which he effortlessly beats, having chosen one of many ways to floor him. He would literally just throw him into the wall with Diva, use Asura to pelt him with missiles, throw black chakra rods at him, and push through his palm's rotation with the Truth Seeker Orbs. Or even go so far as to just neg his gentle fist style by merely flooding his body with Kurama's power. There is no chance Neji wins, and so he doesn't. Gaara versus Sasuke. Sasuke's been training for a while with Kakashi, learning new techniques and further familiarizing himself with his various Rinnegan abilities, including Ame no Tejikara. In his fight with Gaara, he could just use Six Paths Onyx Chidori and smash his way through Gaara's defenses, or he could just use Ame no Tejikara to simply switch places with Gaara's dirt and curb stomp him. Either way, he has the capabilities to steamroll Gaara now. You know, watching all this, I begin to wonder if Orochimaru would attempt to do anything, or just think I am way out of my league here and sit there quietly pretending to be the Kazekage until he gets the chance to escape. For the sake of the story, let's say he does attack and plans to kill the Hokage, but I don't see it going well because Kakashi would freaking die for the Hokage. What's to prevent him from using space-time ninjutsu from getting inside the barrier and just shredding Orochimaru like a cheese grater? I say nothing. Orochimaru gets shredded and the Hokage does not die. Naruto and Sasuke would go after Gaara, and Gaara is so out of his league that he immediately puts himself to sleep and wakes up Shukaku. However, the moment that Shukaku sees Naruto, he's going to immediately forfeit because Naruto is Hagoromo's reincarnation, something that Shukaku could likely tell. I mean, Kurama was the first to pin Sasuke as Madara's reincarnation at about the same time as the Tenchi Bridge recon mission. Tailed beasts are old enough and sensitive enough to recognize reincarnations when they see them, especially when it's the reincarnation of someone prominent that they knew. So Shukaku would be like, "Oh, hey Seiji, what's up?" I highly doubt that Shukaku would cause them any trouble even if they did fight. After all, Shukaku is the weakest tailed beast. So after this, they would have no need to go looking for Tsunade because the Hokage is still alive and well. They'd also have no need to go after Sasuke as he'd never leave the village searching for power because he's already endgame Sasuke level. And they probably wouldn't need to train with Jiraiya since at this point there isn't really anything he could teach them that would be useful. I mean, I'm pretty sure Six Paths Sage Mode already comes with Sage Mode and Naruto already knows it, so I doubt he would have to learn it from anyone. Sasuke might benefit from learning it though, as Rinnegan alone doesn't teach Sage Mode, as Madara displayed in the 4th Shinobi World War when he stole some Sage energy from Hashirama using the Preta Path. So Sasuke could definitely benefit from it and would likely train with Jiraiya to learn it. But in the end, that would at most take a month, and if he's anything like Madara, he'll learn to properly balance it right off the bat. I'll cut the difference and say 2 weeks, since he is still young and not as knowledgeable about chakra control. He would likely pick up Rasengan somewhere along the way, so with that done, Sasuke feels pretty headstrong, and I can see him leaving the village to go after Itachi during this era of the 2-year time skip. Now, there is one thing I know. When Hagoromo awakened his Rinnegan, he awakened his Mangekyou at the same time, meaning that at this time, Sasuke should probably have Mangekyou too, and since he has Six Paths Chakra, he would likely also have them in the Eternal variant, as I'm pretty sure with Six Paths Chakra, it just upgrades them anyway. And besides, even if they're not, the regenerative powers that come with Rikudo Senjutsu far surpass Hashirama's Senju cells, which was enough to keep Kamui spammer Obito from going blind. So Sasuke is haxed out right now, meaning that he's going to be looking for Itachi, and when he finds him, it would be a spectacular battle. Now I will give credit to Itachi. He would likely be able to put up a good fight against Sasuke, specifically because this is years earlier, meaning that he's not quite as sick and likely capable of putting up a better fight. His Susanoo is also pretty powerful, possessing the Yada Mirror, which is likened to a truth-seeking ball in that it can nullify incoming jutsu. The issue with this is that the truth-seeking orbs all have the same weakness, a weakness to Senjutsu, Sage Energy, and Sasuke has that. Heck, his Six Paths Onyx Chidori would be enough to pierce the Yada Mirror, which might be Sasuke's way of killing Itachi as he wouldn't be expecting it. This means Itachi dies, and given how bad of a stomp it was, Sasuke doesn't suspect that Itachi even wanted him to win. I'm a little caught on if Obito would inform Sasuke about Itachi's true motivations at this time. It is highly possible. I could see it happening, as Obito would be wanting to turn him against the village to weaken it. Man, I can see Obito now, looking around at everyone. Naruto has Rinnegan, Pain has Rinnegan, Sasuke has Rinnegan, Kakashi has Rinnegan, Obito himself has Rinnegan. It's like a Rinnegan bargain sale. So let's say he convinces Sasuke to go along with this. Sasuke would return to the village to kill the elders in retaliation for what they've done, that being Hiruzen, the 2 elders of the council, and Danzo. Hiruzen and the elders should be easy peasy, but Danzo would be a little tougher with all of his Sharingan and do-overs. Now, once Sasuke has killed only the elders, I could see him stopping, as that was his original intention. Prior to speaking with Hashirama, Sasuke didn't care to reform the world. He just wanted revenge, plain and simple. And with this power, he could get it. Now, the question is if the next Hokage, likely Tsunade, would forgive him or not. She would probably take it into consideration when reviewing everything. I could see a happy compromise likely coming from Kakashi's recommendation in which Sasuke be stripped of his shinobi titles and released to the village. But of course, this is just what Pain wants. In the time before Tsunade returns, Pain would attack the village to claim the tailed beast from Naruto. However, he would be met by Six Paths Sage Mode Naruto, Rinnegan wielding Kamui spamming Kakashi, and possibly even Sasuke, who doesn't want to see the whole village go up in smoke. Probably Jiraiya as well, and so he probably gets curb stomped because Pain can only divide one path to each of his 6 bodies. Kakashi, Naruto, and Sasuke each have 6 paths of their very own. And while it may be 2-on-1, each of these Konoha nin are vastly superior to each of the bodies in every way by at least 6 times or more, meaning that even with the numbers advantage, Pain still has too little power to do anything, and gets slaughtered by the Rinnegan Rangers here, ending his plans pretty quickly. By this time though, Obito has sent the Akatsuki out to get the rest of the tailed beasts. Teams of 2 are sent, and they slowly begin to make up for all they need. Due to their ability to hit hard and hit fast, they would take many nations off guard and take many beasts, or at least a portion of them. All except for Konoha, which is too haxy to deal with right now, but that's okay, because you know who wants to team up with the Akatsuki? Good old Kabuto, and guess whose bodies he has? If you guess the Gold and Silver brothers, then you get a gold star. And with that, he has plenty enough to awaken the Ten-Tails. So guess what he does? He summons it and uses it to cast the infinite Tsukiyomi while the 5 great nations are still in disarray, which pacifies everyone. Everyone except for Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi. But this doesn't last too long as Kaguya takes over his body. Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi would all go to fight her, and upon getting to the dimension where she's at, they begin to realize that this one is actually a lot more than they were expecting. I believe the team would actually handle this worse than they did in the original timeline due to not having had to train very hard to get to where they are, and also this happening earlier. However, Sasuke still possesses Sage Mode, and Naruto also possesses Rinnegan, the same as Kakashi, so maybe I'm wrong about that, and instead everyone is far stronger than they ever were. I mean, Sasuke never had a Sage Mode before, and as for Naruto's Rinnegan, we know that Rinnegan gives you a passive chakra boost just by having them, as you can go insane with the power they grant, as well as the fact that Urashiki devoured his own Rinnegan to get a power increase enough to transform him into a similar form like Momoshiki took. So I assume that they might still be able to do it, and with the advanced reaction speed they have, I doubt that the all-killing Ash Bones would be too much of an issue. Now, if you're expecting Naruto and Sasuke to touch her and then seal her away, you would be wrong. Naruto is technically Hagoromo in this situation, meaning that the people he gave Six Paths Chakra to are the only ones right now who can utilize Six Paths Chibaku Tensei, those being Sasuke and Kakashi. So I see Naruto fainting her as she expects Naruto to do it, not expecting it from her grandson's reincarnation and some random dude who just lucked into a Rinnegan. So with that, they would seal her power away, free her from the tailed beasts, and end the infinite Tsukiyomi. Peace returns until Toneri decides to be an ass and kill everyone while forcing Hinata to marry him. However, Naruto would show up, and this would be an interesting battle, as it would see who I presume to be the reincarnation of Hamura fighting the reincarnation of Hagoromo, just like Kaguya once forced to happen when she forced Hamura to fight Hagoromo. That sure backfired on her as it awakened Hagoromo's Rinnegan. Anyway, the brothers would reconcile after a while and Naruto would marry Hinata. Now I'm just gonna flat say it. Momoshiki, Kinshiki, Urashiki, and Ishiki, and any of the other Shikis are dead meat, because you have 3 Rinnegan users with 6 paths power, tailed beast power, sage mode, and perfect synergy. So I heavily doubt that it'll cause them a problem. And even if Naruto does have to use Baryon mode against Ishiki, he still has yin-yang release and could easily revive Kurama, or stop him from dying at all. If even a piece of Kurama is still alive inside Naruto, even residual stuff, Kurama can revive. And if we open the Shinigami's belly and free Minato, that's a whole other half from which to pull. So I'll just say it now, if Naruto was the reincarnation of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the heroes would be on easy street. Or so I say. To be honest, for a while I even wondered if I should give Naruto a Rinnegan to begin with. You see, Hagoromo didn't have it from birth, despite having been born with the potential to have it. He had to awaken it, which he only did when he awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan. I was wondering if I should have done that too, but I just thought it would be a whole lot cooler to give Naruto all these abilities from the start and watch him blitz everyone. I was also sure when I made this one to heavily alter Naruto's personality, as he's technically only the same character in name. I incorporated as much of Hagoromo's personality in there as I could, since though each person is their own individual, the chakra still influences who they are deep down, as we saw with every incarnation of Indra and Asura. But that's just what I think. What about you, my friends? Surely you must have opinions on it. Drop a comment below and tell me all about it. Also, feel free to share any more video ideas you have.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.